So we start with a very grumpy fish, and we end with a very happy fish. The reason I like this story, among others, is the fish saved part of himself for himself. He didn't give away everything. And sometimes we get caught up in that. Giving feels really good. I think we all know that. When we give something away, we feel lighter, we feel happier, we know we've helped, but we forget that we can't pour from an empty cup. And Rainbow Fish knew that. Even though he didn't want to share it all, he wanted to keep his cup completely full. We can't do that either. But we need to find the balance between giving and keeping, which is hard. It's a hard balance to find, especially when at every turn we get told maybe we should give a little more or maybe we should keep a little more. I like this story more than most other stories, even though it starts with a very grumpy fish. It's a lesson that's important to all of us. Now, if we were in the RE room, I would be asking you, why shouldn't we give all of ourselves away? Or perhaps what happens when we do give too much of ourselves away? And of course, how on earth does a grumpy little fish have anything to do with a service called the Mishmash Heart? But I'm going to let you answer two of those three questions yourself at home. We will talk about our Mishmash Heart, though. When I was first asked to do this service, I really wanted to share with you a different story. It's a story that was the first one I got to teach as a Sunday school teacher several years ago. And Bonnie Pobosic and I taught it, who's unfortunately not here, else I'd have her read it. This one is called The Mishmash Heart. Recently, at a multi-generational event at a Unitarian Universalist congregation, everyone was encouraged to make a heart. They were given construction paper, glue, markers, glitter, stickers, the whole kit and caboodle. And a little girl named Emily worked diligently to create the most beautiful, perfect heart. She had glitter in the shape of diamonds. She had sparkles and sequins everywhere. Nobody would ever miss her heart in a crowd. She was helping clean up when she noticed that the heart of one woman, who was around the same age as her grandmother, was just sitting there. It was strange. It was odd colors and pieces. They were ripped and torn and glued haphazardly all over it. Parts of it were wrinkled and crumpled. There was even a hole. It looked nothing like Emily's beautiful heart. Emily thought something was wrong with it. She offered to help. The woman smiled. She explained there was nothing wrong with her heart. It merely revealed all the things which had happened in her life. She said there were happy times here, and there were sad times. Though the happy times were beautiful colors and designs, they represented when she first met her husband, their wedding, the birth of their children. There were other beautiful parts which stood for watching her children take their first steps, riding a bike, or graduating from college. But what about the wrinkles and rips and tears, Emily asked. Why are they there? These were for the sad times in her life. The time her best friend was stricken with measles, the time someone lied, someone hurt her feelings, and the hole that was left when her husband died. In fact, every time a person comes into my life that I care about, they take a piece of my heart with them. This was distressing to Emily. What if you gave all of your heart away? You would be left with nothing. I won't, the woman responded, because you see, they give me a piece of their heart as well. Emily looked down at her beautiful, perfect heart with glitter and designs. And then she looked again at the woman's mishmash heart and the jagged colors, rips, and wrinkles. Without hesitation, Emily ripped a piece of her perfect heart off and handed it to the woman. "Thank you," the woman said, and she placed it with her mishmash heart and tore off a piece of her own to hand Emily. That story has stuck with me for a very long time. Each of us has a story we carry with us that is carved into our hearts. Just like the wise woman in the story and the rainbow fish, we have probably shared parts of ourselves with others. Sometimes, though, we're not good at receiving from someone else because it's hard to carry someone else's pain. Sometimes it's hard to carry someone else's joy when we're in pain. So we've talked about a grumpy fish and a woman. And in a little while, we're going to explore our hearts, and that's a lot of ground to cover in a very short amount of time. But the story reminds me of part of a sermon that Dalma Jackson did, and he'll be here in a few weeks. Now, I was with the kids downstairs, and I heard I missed about 99% of it. I came in for about this much at the end, and he was talking about our labels. And I don't know what the grounds were for that. All I remember him talking about is our labels. And as I thought about the mishmash heart and the little grumpy fish, I thought about our labels, the things we carry with us, the things that we get from other people, and the things that we give. What if I had a label like a condiment bottle? What would my label say? What would my warning label say? Just like the story the wise woman shared, we are nothing but a collection of events, feelings, connections, and experiences. How does my faith play into that? I like to think that my faith is my container. It's what holds all of me. And it's the lens that I look through when I'm on the inside of it. It helps shape what I take into myself. What does it mean that I take my faith as a container? Each thing that I bring into my life needs to fit into my Unitarian Universalist values. Does it mean that I don't occasionally try to jam something in? No, I do. It doesn't fit. Sometimes, though, I can get it to fit. I can shove it really hard into that container, but it doesn't stay there for very long. It doesn't. But it does become part of my warning label. It becomes part of the things I know I can't let inside of myself anymore into my life. So, in each of your orders of service, you have a heart. And that is your container for today. I would like you, since I'm a DRE and this is what I do, I would like you to take some time to explore. What does your mishmash heart look like? Maybe it's shiny with new love or old love. Maybe it's a little crumpled up right now. Maybe you have many patches from shared experiences. Maybe there's a hole that's left, that somebody left and that won't ever be filled. We're going to take 3 to 5 minutes to contemplate and create together. The heart is only a container. Maybe you want to draw outside the lines. Any Unitarian Universalist congregation who could imagine that? Maybe those are the things you don't want to let in anymore. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There are markers under all of your chairs, and I will encourage you to share. Go.
If you don't have one, we have some.
Yep. And if you don't have one, grab one from back there. So I'm going to start talking. You guys keep creating. What do you find that your heart says about you? In this place of worship each week, we invite you to bring your whole selves, the happy parts, the weird parts, the broken parts, and the empty parts. How many of us do that? How many of us are even able to look at all of who we are? We learn to edit who we are. We hide parts of ourselves in the small print of our labels. Maybe we don't want to see it. Maybe we're ashamed of it. Maybe we are just afraid of how others will see us. Those are the secrets that were in the song that I shared. Those secrets make us feel alone. When we are willing and able to share all of who we are, even if it is just in this one place, we might find that somebody else shares the same label as us. That same patchwork piece that makes us feel so isolated. Maybe we can make a connection. Maybe we can add a new patch to our own mishmash heart. I was going to have you share your hearts, but we're running out of time. So instead, I would like you, if you're feeling very brave, to share your hearts during coffee hour. Maybe wear it on your sleeve. And know that you are brave. It's hard to share our squishy underbellies with people. It is hard to trust that somebody isn't going to think differently of us, or that if they do, maybe that's okay and we can bring our whole authentic selves here. Because we have a mission here. We have a mission of being a sacred, intentional community. Today, with intention, we shared some of who we are. And hopefully, we will strengthen our interdependent web. And by examining ourselves, we will uphold our principles because we are searching for our truth and meaning in a responsible way. So if you will please share your hearts during coffee hour.